subject, and that subject is racism. Now, racism is a major roadblock in our reason for gathering here today, and that reason is to promote peace and nonviolence. This scourge has followed humans throughout the centuries, and by now in the modern era, examples can be found against basically almost every single subset of human beings. The Jewish people have suffered through pogroms in the Holocaust. Christians have faced persecution in Western Africa and East Asia this year. Muslims have had the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian global violence surge in its aftermath to deal with. Hindus have an almost systematic caste system of racism. African Americans continue to deal with discrimination in the United States. Asians continue to face post-COVID discrimination. Even white people are facing discrimination. Because of the crimes of their colonial ancestors, they are facing violence today. Obviously, violence is a wrong reaction. People can, and they have changed. Bigotry in all of its forms is wrong. We can all confidently say that now as one unified voice. But why did racism exist in the first place? What can we trace racism back to? Well, essentially, one step down lower, racism is violence that is caused by hatred. That hatred comes from being taught that Group X is dangerous to our group, so we need to protect ourselves from them at all costs. And those teachings are taught because people are afraid of differences. Differences cause misunderstandings. What I mean by that is that people think others will impose their ideas and their cultures onto them and destroy their own culture. And this practice of destroying cultures is essentially what racism is. Both groups are afraid of being destroyed. It's just that one of those groups acts quicker, faster, more brutally, violently. Hatred and fear, that's all that racism is. They caused it in the past. And if you look at today, it seems likely that hate crimes will unfortunately soar again. Some of the more commonly known hot wars, there are still some more hot and cold conflicts in this world that I can mention right now, but some of the more commonly known hot wars, violent wars, that everybody knows about in this room right now. Russia, Ukraine, America, Iran, and the unforgettable, infamous, Israeli-Palestinian conflict. These conflicts have been ongoing in our world for years now. They're extremely touchy subjects among the entire global community. And they have caused extreme violence around the globe upon all types of groups. And to those who may believe that racism is meant to be dealt with on a global level, that it's too big to be started here, it can be started here. Just here today in Georgia, throughout the Gregorian year of 2024, the number of incidents in this state rose by 433%. All of this is creating hatred. And I'm sure most of you have been hearing about how this increased friction has the unfortunately high chance of leading to a potential next world war. And seen from the past, I think we can unfortunately conclude that the rate of hate crimes is unfortunately about to go up instead of decrease. But there is one simple solution that we can take. If we return back to the tracing of racism, where does racism come from? We left off at differences, but we can still take one step further back. That step is from differences to cultures. Differences are caused by cultures, and we have our own differences because we have our own cultures. And we have cultures because we're human. That's what we do. We join ourselves together with people who are similar with us, and we exclude ourselves from people who are different from us. As humans, we inherently don't like differences. People who aren't like us, we inherently have a feeling of trying to stay away from them. Humanity doesn't make differences. Differences are what make us human. And if we can teach others about the reason for our practices, we can start cutting off racism, if not the roots, then at the very least at the trunk. This is something we can all do right now. We can teach others about why we do things the way we do, and we can cut off our misunderstandings right now. But some of us just don't have time. In this world, we have work, we have school, we have things that we need to do. Sometimes we just can't talk with people, and we can't get rid of our misunderstandings. We don't have time to ask people. So why don't we let schools do it for us? Why don't we let our modern academia do it for us? Our lunch times are approximately about half an hour, maybe 45 minutes long. I propose that maybe for the first 5 minutes or so, we can go over some modern issues, common misconceptions about cultures and religions, via speakers or slideshows upon the walls. Essentially, we need to make children feel comfortable in discussing these topics. And then to our faith leaders present here, you may feel uncomfortable teaching about other religions in your houses of worship. But at the very least in your sermons, you could go deeper into your own practices. You can teach your congregations, why do you do things the way that you do things? What's the purpose of that? You can delete those misunderstandings right now. This is something we can do today to end racism. If every single person here can start doing this today, this can be the beginning of the end for racism. We all need to come together, to unify, to grow as a species, and we need to teach each other. We need to not be scared of other people. We need to be open to other opinions. We need to be strong enough to believe that we can keep our own culture alive, that our culture is strong and it won't die to other cultures. We need to be open to other people. But most of all, the main purpose of this solution, we need our youth. We need children, we need young adults, we need teenagers to feel free to discuss these topics. We need them to have that mindset that if they have a question on a certain group, on their practices, they can ask anybody. And we need to be open to questions for the person that has that question. That's how we end racism. Getting rid of misunderstandings. Getting rid of fear. That is going to help us understand other people more. That will make us not be afraid, and that will make us want to be open to other people more. Let us lead this country in this remarkable effort. And I want you to remember just one thing from this entire presentation. Humanity is not the one that makes differences. Our differences are what make us human. Thank you.